Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto News. We have some exciting and unbelievable information to share with you guys. But before we get into it, I have to start off with a notice. And this information is from a private, non-citizen national pursuant to 8 U.S.C. 1101A 21 under commercial law jurisdiction. U.S. adopted common laws of England with the Constitution. See Caldwell v. Hill, 178 S.E. 383, 1934. Any and all documents provided with my opinion cannot be construed as legal, lawful advice in any manner, but for informational purposes only. Any actions you take from the information provided is your sole responsibility. Research the laws pertaining to your jurisdiction. Alright, you guys, so let's get right into this. Now, Americans are contracted servants or slaves, citizens. They are owned by international bankers through the Bank of International Settlements, known as BIS, which is located in Switzerland. All land, real estate, and personal property, including the people, are claimed by the IRS as collateral, pursuant to a lien filed with the Maryland Secretary of State for a whopping $14.3 quadrillion. That is 14,300 trillion dollars. Until this lien is paid or discredited, the IRS retains the right to enforce the debt through taxation or by whatever means they are instructed by the Secretary of Treasury, known as the BIS, pursuant to the Emergency Banking Act of 1933. No, this is not our Treasury, but the International Settlements, the bank located in Switzerland. Alright, so me personally, I prefer not to dwell upon the history too much of how the IRS came to own all property, all the land, and people. I would much rather prefer to focus on providing the solutions and explaining how people can reclaim their freedom, their rights, and their lives. However, I do think it's very important that we go over how the IRS came about owning everybody. Not to mention, it's not just the IRS, it's also the Department of Defense, Finance and Accounting Services, Secretary of Treasury, which is not our Treasury. This is the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS in Switzerland, and also, not to mention, North American Water and Power Alliance. So there's a lot of information here we're going to go through. First, you need to remember that the original Republic of the United States was a compact alliance of the individual states. Each state was recognized as a separate nation under international law. The original United States functioned similar to a chartered trade organization of member states, not as a country. This all changed when congressional representatives of the southern states abandoned their posts in 1861. Congress dissolved, taking the constitutional republic of the United States with it. The southern states signed the Articles of Confederation, which in effect split the country into two separate organizations, the Union and Confederacy, with the people as shareholders. After the Civil War, under Military Reconstruction Acts, the United States Corporation, which formed in 1871, you guys can Google this, Organic Act of 1871. This can also be confirmed by referring to the United States Code, Title 28, Chapter 176, under Federal Debt Collection Procedures. Section 3002.15 states that legal definition of United States means the following. A federal corporation. B, an agency, department, commission, board, or other entity of the United States. Or C, an instrumentality of the United States. It's important to note that this legal definition does not include any reference to a constitutional republic, country, nation, compact of states, geographic area, or people. The definition only refers to agencies and instrumentalities of the United States Corporation. The United States Corporation went bankrupt in 1933, resulting in establishing a federal bankruptcy trust. The Federal Reserve System is the public trust, and all property of the United States, which also applies to the states, are held in trust under bankruptcy law. This property includes all land, all real estate, and even the people are held as the collateral for the debt owed to the international central bankers, investors in the BIS, Bank of International Settlements, located, and you guessed it, Switzerland. However, every individual can invalidate this unlawful trust on the grounds of fraud, lack of consent, misrepresentation, and malfeasance. The way that they stole all property from the people is that they converted our birth name into an all capital letter artificial legal person, which substitutes for the human being in every respect. All documentation that you possess is for the all capital letter person. It does not mean you. Every form of identification or documentation you have, it will show your name in all capital letters. From your birth certificate, the driver's license you have, passport, social security card, bank account, credit cards, insurance records, high school records, and even your medical records are in the name of the person. You, the human agent, do not own anything. Everything is in the name of the person. The same as if all your property was in the name of another corporation. You are just an agent for the person, not sole agent, and may have use and possession of the property in the name of the person, in accordance with copyright and trademark law. The state, creator of the person, owns the exclusive rights and benefits associated with that intellectual property. By changing the name of people into all capital letters, the state can claim all rights to the profits from the use of that trademark name. Everything with that all capital letter name belongs to the state, which really means international banking interest. Also, the reason the state changed the name of the people into an all capital letter person is that they cannot directly own people. Your all capital letter name is an asset to the public trust. You cannot legally tamper with assets of a bankruptcy trust under threat of criminal penalties. However, you can challenge their claim to property of the public trust. People have inalienable and constitutional rights, but a person is a legal entity entitled to only such rights assigned by contract, and there is no agency contracts between human beings and their all capital letter person. Also, agents have no authority other than by contract, and human being agents have no contract with the state. This is why the state can take your land, home, and children because they own them. Another reason they can claim all your property is that you are legally presumed deceased. Under commercial law, when someone has not conducted any business activity for 7 years, they are presumed legally dead. All business activity is conducted under the name of the all capital letter person, not by people. So everyone is deemed legally dead, and their property goes to the public trust as abandoned property, unless and until they serve public notice that they are alive and well and are competent to conduct their business affairs. Okay, now circling back for a moment regarding the history, After the Civil War, all people of the occupied territories were considered and presumed to be an enemy of the state. Under international law, formal peace treaties are required between two states to end hostilities and to be considered at peace. Where is the written peace treaty between the Union and the Confederate States? There is no signed peace treaty. We are still presumed to be an enemy of the state, the United States. There are provisions within the Defense Authorization, Homeland Security, and Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Acts that allow accused persons that are an enemy of the state to be held indefinitely without charge or trial until the end of hostilities, or until there's been a peace treaty or we're no longer at war with the state. We have not officially ended the Civil War, and there will never be peace or cessation of hostilities. People formerly suspected of being enemies of the state face a life sentence without charge, no trial, no evidence. I mean, just watch one video presentation on the deep state. Alright, so here's the proof that the IRS, North American Water and Power Alliance, and the United States Department of Treasury 1789 own every single United States citizen in America. Now let's break down this document a little bit. It's straight from the Taxpayer Services Division. It's stating that this is a Federal Reserve System filing details that's current. Filing status is active. All records received by the department through August 19, 2011 are shown, and by law, they are required every 30 years to renew the financing statements, which are the U.C.Cs. So, in the next 30 years, they'll have to renew that. Come August 19th, 2041, they'll have to renew this, or just resubmit the documents. Obviously, this has been going on for some time. So let's break this down a little bit here now. The debtor's information for file number 181425776. Now the first on the list is the Federal Reserve System. Next is the United States of America, followed by the United States Department of Defense Financing and Accounting Services, also Controller of Maryland. Now, debtors are people that owe the money, okay? That's something that we all should know. And secured party is the lender. This is somebody that is lending this out, okay? And this is going to be the United States Department of Treasury 1789, North American Water and Power Alliance, and the U.S. Treasury Department Internal Revenue Services, IRS. Now, the IRS is the assignee, the assignor is North American Water and Power Alliance, and the other assignor is the United States Department of Treasury 1789. Now, here is the file number, the 181425776. So let's take a look exactly at that UCC filing so we know what does it say. Okay, so this is the original UCC financing statement, and we can see here the original file number, that is 181425776, and this is just the cover page showing what was done, the expedited service, the public finances, the original financing statement, and they also received certified copies, paid in cash, public finance with assessment. And let's continue on to the actual UCC that's here. Okay, and now this is send acknowledgement to U.S. Department of Defense, U.S. Department of Homeland Security, and let's see here. So it shows the debtor's exact name. So this is the debtor's exact full legal name, the Federal Reserve System. And we can see here their address and also Article 1D, see instructions. So we'll look at the instructions. And this is for $14,300 trillion. The type of organization is a trust. The jurisdiction of organization, United States of America, and also has the organization ID. here the second additional debtor's exact full legal name, the United States of America, and it has the mailing address as well. And Article 2D, see instructions, 14,000 trillion. And the type of organization, a trustee, and the jurisdiction of organization, the United States of America, also the organization number, and then it shows here the secured party's name, which is the United States Department of the Treasury, 1789, and also shows the mailing address, and it shows the financing statement with the following collateral. It shows here some numbers, some seal numbers. So these are different seals and also serial numbers. But let's continue on, and then we'll break it down for you. So continuing on here, number 5, it's showing that this is a lien. So this has been a lien that's been taken out. Number 6, this financing statement is to be filed for record in the real estate records. Okay. And now continuing on here, article number 9, name of first debtor, the Federal Reserve System. It shows miscellaneous. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private, 14,300 trillion. And then shows an additional 300 trillion, which we'll also get into in just a second. And then additional debtor's exact full legal name, number 11, U.S. Department of Defense, Finance and Accounting Services, located at the Pentagon. And this is, if you look here at 11D, 300 trillion. And this is showing the type of organization that the U.S. Department of Defense is. They are a trustee. And the jurisdiction of organization is in the United States of America. And now we are going to continue on to the secured party, which is the North American Water and Power Alliance. And this is also the assignor on this financing statement. It shows them located at the Pentagon. And this is financing statement in number 4. It shows that the description of real estate. All real men with hands and legs and all real land in the United States of America. 14,000 trillion with trust in God. This real estate is with the public. So let's go over that one more time. Now, article number 14, description of real estate. As all real men with hands and legs and all real land in the United States of America, 14,000 trillion dollars with trust in God. This real estate is with the public. Continuing on here to article number 15, you can see here that name and address of a record owner of above described real estate. So it wants to know who is the owner on file, who's the actual record owner of what they're describing as the real estate, who actually owns all the men with hands and legs, all of the land in the United States of America, who is claiming the 14,000 trillion dollars with trust in God. This real estate is with the public. Who is claiming that? The owner of that property is the United States of America, U.S. Treasury, Department, Internal Revenue Service, the IRS. The IRS owns every single United States citizen in America as all real men with hands and legs and all real land in the United States of America, valuing at a total of 14,000 trillion dollars. With trust in God, this real estate is with the public. That is incredible. That is something to really think about. Now, let's break this down. Okay, so first, the IRS is the record owner of the property listed, okay? Which includes all land, cities, countries, and states, all real estate, buildings, including your home, and, as it states here, people. The IRS is record owner of the debt and the holder in due course and retains the right to enforce the debt by whatever means as directed by the Secretary of Treasury. But this Treasury is not our Treasury. The Secretary of Treasury works for the Bank of International Settlements, BIS, which is located all the way in Switzerland. Now, the 3 trillion extraction contribution is separate from the total, noting the Department of Defense and Accounting Services retains trusteeship over that separate amount from the other trustees. So what that means, when I told you guys that 300 trillion, where is it? The 300 trillion, right here. U.S. Department of Defense and Finance, a trustee, $300 trillion. So that right there, let me refresh. The 300 trillion extraction contribution, this right here, is separate from the total. That's why it shows here 14,000 trillion. Noting that the Department of Defense, Finance, and Accounting Services retains trusteeship over that separate amount. So this amount is separate as noted. Item number 4, financing statement, covers the following collateral. As seal numbers, these are vaults containing deeds, various security instruments such as stocks, bonds, and your birth certificates. All commercial securities, actual original documents, not receipts, certificates. These are the real deal. The actual original documents are kept there. Not to mention, they are kept in a sub-basement of the Depository Trust Corporation, which is located at 55 Water Street in New York City, New York. That is where you'll also find your birth bond. If you're curious about where's your birth bond located, it's at the Depository Trust Corporation, 55 Water Street, New York, New York. Now, all right, so let's summarize here. So the IRS, the North American Water and Power Alliance, and the United States Treasury of 1781, that is influenced by the BIC, owns every single United States citizen. All right? And what we're going to be doing is providing you guys information on how exactly you can extract yourself from being claimed by the IRS, by the North American Water and Power Alliance, by the United States Treasury of 1781, and also by the BIC, which is the International Bank of Settlements. Now, you do not want to be their slave at all. We will show you guys exactly how to be free, truly free. And this is not, bullshit. I want to claim myself as a sovereign citizen or something like that. This is legitimate, verifiable documentation that will actually set you free. You will actually be a free person. You are what will now be called as a state national. If you don't know what a state national is, if you go back to the very beginning of the video, I reference and I talk about it. If you look up those codes, you'll see exactly what a state national is. A state national is very similar to a diplomat. However, you're not under the jurisdiction, you're not getting told what to do by the United States, as a diplomat is told to do by the country he serves, even though he has, quote unquote, maybe lenient laws that he follows. This is something completely different, but similar in nature, whereas you're not, the jurisdiction you'd be under is not the police. The police don't have jurisdiction under you. They only have jurisdiction underneath United States citizens, all right? You will now become a state national. A state national is a free human being. This is the actual golden ticket, my friends. This is what you truly want. When it says you're free, that's not true. You know, the best statement I ever saw was, um, it said this exactly. It said, the best slave is one that thinks he's free, or one that, yeah, exactly. The best slave is one that thinks he's free. But that's not true. Any citizen is not free. And we're going to show you guys exactly how you can really be a free human. And this will take some time for you to understand. This in itself was a lot of information to go over. But we're going to have some more videos coming out and actual files and documentations. This is not going to cost you a lot of money. You're not going to file a U.C.C. You're not going to file a financing statement. You're not going to become a secured creditor. You're not going to do any of that. You're going to take ownership of your person, of your actual being. Now, like I said, this is going to take some videos to kind of break it down and kind of dissect on how this works and what you'll do, but all it takes is you'll create a power of attorney, and you'll also create a bill of rights that will be filed with the clerk recorder at your county. And that pretty much summarizes this video. It's a lot of unbelievable information. I'm sure that the IRS owns everybody. Yeah, I wanted to get this information out here, and I hope this helped a lot of people and opened up a lot of eyes. Have a wonderful week, and God bless you guys. Bye-bye.